Proceeding from part 1, in this video I shall elaborate further on the purpose and the necessity of the death penalty through 2 case studies. First, the New Guinea observation. Jared Diamond, an American geographer and ornithologist who is widely famous for his book The Third Chimpanzee, recorded fascinating accounts of tribal conflicts while trailing birds of paradise on the New Guinea island in the early 20th century. During Jared's adventure, he discovered the only 2 tribes on the island, which lived peacefully under European regimes. Let's designate them Tribe A and B for the sake of convenience. Jared often acquired Tribe A's assistance to navigate the jungles for his birdwatching business, and he noticed the guide from Tribe A would always act extremely cautious while crossing Tribe B's territory. He later learned that Tribe A and B once stood long-lasting conflict before the European settlement. The cause of the conflict was scarcely remembered, but bloodshed and revenge were passed down centuries and countless generations. But the sound of a musket shot ended the chains of retribution upon the arrival of the European colonizers. The tribes were left in awe of their superior firepower and revered the Europeans as a new master of the island. The Europeans, in return, legitimized the death penalty against revenge killings and eventually restored peace to the island. In addition, Jared was told a story where a man from Tribe A was killed in a car accident at the fault of Tribe B's driver. But instead of exercising revenge in private, Tribe A turned to the local police station for justice, which was run by the very European descendants. In this regard, Jared reflected upon how the change of approach undertaken by tribes in handling conflict, that is, from barbaric retaliation to legal prosecution. Thus, based on his observations, Jared concluded the fundamental purpose of the death penalty, that is, gratification of retaliation. In this case, the tribes gave up their rights of retaliation and instead entrusted them to the European police, who would act as a transcendent being, capable of carrying out the death penalty on behalf of the victimized tribe. Likewise, people have faith in the criminal justice system not because of its ability to prevent crimes, but its absolute power and unquestionable legality of exerting legal punishments upon the criminals, while restoring social justice for the victims. The guaranteed retaliation against any forms of crimes and assured gratification as a result. Second, Bonasera and Vito from The Godfather. In this Oscar Award winner, where Bonasera, a law-abiding Italian immigrant whose daughter was violated by rapists from upstream families, turned to Vito for executing justice. Bonasera initially went to the court, as he had enormous faith in the criminal justice system. Sadly, his faith was not rewarded, as rapists steered the court's decision with overpowering family influence and was spared of any imprisonments. Devastated by the injustice, Bonasera found Vito and asked him for exerting due justice, in exchange of his allegiance to Vito. Vito agreed and honored their arrangements. He had the rapists beaten into pulp. In this case, the justice Bonasera pursued was fair retaliation, which is imprisonment dictated by the criminal justice system. And when that system failed Bonasera, he turned to Vito and was gratified with Vito's form of fair retaliation, which was enforced through violence. Likewise, the abolition of the death penalty from the justice system will only deny the victims the legitimate avenues for retaliation and gratifications, which inevitably leads to the use of illegal measures to exert the due punishment, and consequently invoking an endless cycle of revenge, just like centuries of tribal bloodshed before the Europeans came ashore with absolute authority and due process guaranteed to enforce retaliation. In conclusion, the necessity of death penalty does not lie within its significance of crime deterrence, so much as its omnipotent power of enforcement that would ultimately bring about retaliation and punishments upon the criminals, and gratifications for the innocent, as well as upholding justice for the public.